Yes. Okay, then let us go for the next topic, that is the IR spectroscopy. IR spectroscopy. So this IR spectroscopy is a very important topic as an organic point of view. So we have seen the electromagnetic radiation or spectrum. We have seen that the UV radiation or UV spectroscopy gives information of the dyne and immune system. UV gives information about the dyne and the immune system. The range for this UV is from, actually it starts from the 100 nanometer, but as an organic point of view, we are interested in 200 nanometer to 400 nanometer. It is the range for the UV, and 400 to 800 is the visible region. Is the visible region. Okay. So getting a spectra, getting a lambda max in the UV region, it indicates that there is a presence of dyne or the immune system. Dyne or the immune system. So this is about the UV spectroscopy. Right? This is about the UV spectroscopy. Now we'll see the next spectroscopy, that is the IR spectroscopy. In IR spectroscopy, firstly we'll see what is the use of this IR spectroscopy. What is the use of this IR spectroscopy? So this UV spectroscopy gives information about the dyne or the immune system. Means when there is a presence of carbon-carbon double bond, at least 2 pi bond, they are in the conjugation, or one carbon-carbon double bond and one CO group, they are in the conjugation. So these two systems, dyne and the immune system, so it tells its information in the UV. And what is about the IR? IR gives information about the functional group. Functional group. So we are having a long list of the function group. So this IR gives information about the functional group, and the time required to take the spectra is near about 3 to 7 minutes. 3 to 7 minutes. So hardly 10 minutes it required to take a spectra, and the sample required for this one is from 4 to 5 milligram. So this is about the sample required for this IR spectra, and this is the time required to record the spectra. And what is the use? Use is to find out the functional group. You know what is I mean by functional group? Functional group is an atom or a group of atom. Due to that one, that family get its a particular property, that is the physical or the chemical property. You have seen the example of the function group. Function group example, carbon-carbon single bond means it is the alkene, right? Then carbon-carbon double bond means it is alkene. Similarly, you can write other function group, that is alkyne, alcohol or phenol, ether, ROR, right? Then we can write RC double bond H aldehyde or ketone, or acid, RC double bond OH acid, maybe ester, RC double bond OR ester, maybe that is the amide, or maybe amine, RNS2, alkyl halide RX. So you are having a number of the functional group. So this functional group get absorbed in this UV. Means what is the use of this UV this IR spectroscopy? IR is useful to find out the presence of the functional group. So getting a spectrum in so and so region, it indicates that there is a presence of, or there may be the presence of that functional group. So this is about the IR spectroscopy. Okay. Now the UV radiation is having a 200 to 800 nanometer. So it is a very energetic. The lambda max, this is the lambda max, right? This is the lambda. From left to right, it get increased. So at left it is a low, and at right it is a high, right? And you know the energy of this UV is more. So it UV undergo rotational, vibrational, and electronic excitation. Rotational, vibrational, right? So it undergo rotational, vibrational, and electronic rotation or excitation. But what is about this IR? IR as compared to UV, the lambda is more, right side, and here the energy is somewhat lower. So as compared to UV, the lambda is more and the energy is lower. Now the next part is important, the division of this IR spectroscopy. The division of this IR spectroscopy. So let us see the division of IR spectroscopy. IR division of IR. So this IR is divided into three parts, right? So this IR is divided into three parts. So first part here is your called as near IR. It is called as near IR. So first part is called as near IR. Near IR. Okay. And next part is called as ordinary IR. It is called as ordinary IR. Ordinary IR. And next part is called as, that is the far IR. So it is divided into three parts, right? So one is called as near IR, second is called as ordinary IR. So near IR, then ordinary IR, and third is the far IR. If you see the range for this one is here, the values are in micron and centimeter. The wavelength, if you see, and wave number. So the wavelength means lambda is for the near is 0.8 to 2.5 micron. 2.5 micron. Then 2.5 micron to 16 micron. To 16 micron. And 16 micron to 200 micron. 200 micron. And if you convert this value into wave number, into wave number. So if you convert this value into wave number, then it is, you know, the relationship between the lambda and wave number. So it is a wave number, right? Wave number. The values for the near IR is from 1 to 0, 0, 0, means 12,000 centimeter inverse. The unit is a centimeter inverse, to 4,000 centimeter inverse. Centimeter inverse. 4,000 centimeter inverse to 6 to 5 centimeter inverse, and 6 to 5 centimeter inverse to 50 centimeter inverse. So in this IR, you have to see number of the values, right? So this near IR, we can now only see in terms of wave number. In terms of wave number. Okay. So this near IR is from 1 to 0, 0, 0 centimeter inverse, 12,000 to 4,000 centimeter inverse. Okay. Then ordinary IR is from 4,000 centimeter inverse to, that is the 6 to 5 centimeter inverse, and 6 to 5 centimeter inverse to 50 centimeter inverse. So this about the, that is the division of this IR, right? This about the division of this IR. Okay. So IR is divided into three parts. One is the near IR, second is the ordinary IR, and third is the far IR. And as organic point of view, we are interested only in the ordinary IR, electromagnetic radiation, means near and IR. So they are of no use of as an organic point of view, right? So we'll see more only on the ordinary IR. So let us see ordinary IR. So here we'll see about the ordinary IR. Now look here, we are interested only in the ordinary IR because it is useful to find out the structure of organic molecule. Okay, so we are learning about the division of IR, right? We are learning about the division of IR. So it is divided into three parts. One is near IR, second is the ordinary IR, and third is the far IR. And here only we are interested in the ordinary IR, right? So again, if you see, the ordinary IR is divided into three parts. So this ordinary IR is divided into again three parts. So here again we'll see the division of ordinary IR, right? So here it is divided into three parts. One is the functional group region, second is the called as fingerprint region, and third is called as aromatic region. So this ordinary IR is divided into three parts, right? So here is the ordinary IR. Here is the ordinary IR. Ordinary IR is divided again into three parts. One is a functional group region. Functional group region, which is very important. Functional group. Second is the number 2 is called as that is the fingerprint region. Fingerprint. And third is called as aromatic region. Aromatic region. Right? Now look here. This is very important. This part is very important. So this ordinary IR, you know, it starts from 4,000 to 625, right? So it starts from 4,000 centimeter inverse to 625 centimeter inverse. And so this is the range for the IR electromagnetic radiation. It is divided into 3 parts. First part is called as a functional group region. So first part is a functional group. Functional group, right? And the functional group region start from 4,000 to 1300. 4,000 to 1300. 1300 centimeter inverse. Right? So here it is start from 1300 centimeter inverse. 1300 centimeter inverse. Okay. It is called as a functional group region. Second part is called as a fingerprint region. Fingerprint region. Right? Second part is called as a fingerprint region. It starts from 1300 to 909 centimeter inverse. So it is 909 centimeter inverse. Okay. So this is the range, right? So you have seen that the functional group region is from 4,000 centimeter inverse to 1300 centimeter inverse. These values are in the of wave number. At wave number means we are using wave number this IR radiation. Fingerprint region starts from 1300 centimeter inverse to 909 centimeter inverse. Aromatic region start from 909 to 625 centimeter inverse. Okay. So these 3 regions, they are very, very important. So as we have learned already that this IR radiation is useful to find out the presence of the functional group. Means the first region is very important. The first region is a very important functional group. So whatever functional group that you have learned, most of all functional group will appear in between 4,000 centimeter inverse to 1300 centimeter inverse. At 1300 centimeter inverse. So we have learned already about the wave number in the introduction to the IR spectroscopy. Right? We have learned already the wave number, introduction to the IR spectroscopy. The wave number mu bar is equal to 1 upon lambda. Right? 1 upon lambda. So as we move from left to right, right? Left to right. So we'll see that lambda get increase, right? That's why here the wave number get decrease. They are inversely proportional to each other, and they are inversely proportional to each other, right? So here we'll see that if you see the lambda from left to right, lambda get increase, but the wave number, as it is inversely proportional, it get decrease. Okay, so okay, no problem. So here we have seen the relationship between the lambda and the mu bar, that is the wave number. So remember these values: the functional group region, then fingerprint region, and the aromatic region. Okay. Now the range for this functional group region is from 4000 to 1300, right? Then 1300 to 909, 909 to 625. Okay, so these are the range for the IR. So we have seen the division of IR. IR is divided into three parts. One is the near IR, second is the ordinary IR, and third is the far IR. The far IR and near IR, as an organic point of view, they are not so important. But as an organic point of view, for the structure elucidation, to find out the structure of the O-ring compound, the ordinary IR is very, very important. The ordinary IR is very, very important. Okay. So here we have seen the ordinary IR. Again, it is divided into three parts. One is the functional group region, second fingerprint region, and third is the aromatic region. Okay. So here we'll see what is the use of this region, right? What is the use of this region? Number one, so we have seen the functional group region. Functional group region. What is the range for this functional group region? It is from 4000 centimeter inverse to 1300 centimeter inverse. So this is the range for this functional group region. What is the use of this functional group region? Most of the functional group will appear in this range. So whatever common functional groups are present, so we are having absorption band in this region. We are having the absorption band in this region. So here, whatever spectra you are getting, and whatever absorption band, and here whatever absorption band you are getting, absorption band, or we can say IR spectra, so here whatever IR spectra you are getting, so they are due to the functional group. So getting a spectra in the range 4000 to 1300 centimeter inverse at a particular mu bar, it indicates that the presence of a corresponding functional group, right? Presence of corresponding functional group. If suppose this region is transparent, means there is no spectra, means there may be the absence of functional group. There may be the absence of that type of the functional group. So here, as this region is on the left side means more energy. So there, suppose you are having a functional group. For example, there is a R, there is a O, and H, right? Then what happens? when you pass IR radiation through a molecule, through this molecule, then what happen? The length of this O and H, either it get increase, right, or it may get a decrease. It may get a decrease. It may get a decrease. So when the length of a bond get increase or decrease, just like a rubber, if you put a rubber band in between the two atoms like O and H, right, O and H, suppose here is R, here is O, and suppose you are having a such type of rubber band, right, just like a rubber band in between this two atoms, there is O and H, then the length get increase or decrease. So it is called as a stretching. It is called as a stretching. So here you are having a stretching. So they are called as a stretching vibrations. They are called as a stretching vibrations. Stretching vibrations. At the same time, the OH bond can bend in the plane, means in the paper, in the board, in the paper, or out of plane, out of board. So this OH bond will come out of screen, out of board. Means suppose if you move this OH, so here we can move on this OH bond either in the plane, below, or above, right? At the same time, the OH bond can move out of plane, means here it will move below the board or above the board. So here it's just like a bending. It is just like a bending vibration. So here is a bending vibration, right? Bending vibration. Now, can you tell me which require more energy, either stretching vibration or the bending vibration? Yes. Can you tell me which require more energy, stretching vibration or the bending vibration? Yes. Stretching or bending? Which require more energy, stretching or bending? Huh? Yes. Okay. I think suppose this is a one atom and this is your second atom, and there is a bond between these two. Right? There is a bond between these two. Okay. So what happened here? I want to stretch it. Right? Now I'm going to pull it. Right? I'm applying the energy. I am applying the energy, and I want to increase the length or decrease the length. Right? We want to just pull it. Right? So we are applying the energy, but can you see whether the length get increase or decrease? Of course, the length get increase, but by our naked eyes, we cannot see whether the length get increase or decrease. But suppose I want to bend it, right? So this stretching may be in the plane, right? They are in the plane, right? Here I want to bend it, so just I will push this bond, right, in the plane. Okay, they are in the plane. Out of plane like this one, and out of plane like this one. Means it go above the plane or below the plane, right? So which require more energy, either stretching or bending? Yes. Which require more energy, stretching or bending? What you can see, whether you can see stretching, whether the length of this bond get increase just when I apply the energy, or can you see the bending? Yes, Ankita, bolo. Which require more energy, increasing or stretching or bending? Susti, which require more energy, stretching or bending? Are you there? To you? Yes, Rohit. Rohit,
For stretching,
stretching require which more energy or less energy?
more
Yes,
energy,
whether it require more. Huh? Yes, you are right. Huh? Yes,
more energy,
stretching very good. Stretching require more energy and bending require less energy.
less energy.
Right? Right? Stretching require more energy. So here, when you apply the IR radiation to this bond, so what happen? There are the two type of the stretching or bending vibration. So you know the IR radiation require, it is having the less energy. So a bond in a molecule, it undergo vibrational rotational, or it undergo vibration, or it may also undergo rotational excitation. There are the three type of the excitation. One is the electronic excitation, second is the vibrational excitation, and third is the, that is the rotational excitation. Rotational, I can rotate it here, just I can rotate and I can rotate. It requires the less energy. Vibrational, now here it undergo vibration, the bond undergo increase or decrease, or it undergo bending, right? And rotational, like this one. And electronic, the bond in the electrons in the bond, they undergo excitation from the ground state to the excited state, and again it requires the more energy, and it is present in the UV spectroscopy. We have seen the types of transition. We have seen the types of transition. Okay, now here if you see, in this case, the two type of the vibration, one is the stretching and other is the bending. So here the same bond OH, either it undergo stretching or it also undergo bending also. So here you may also get two type of the bands due to OH, or maybe any other bond also. So here whatever stretching vibrations are present, they generally appear towards the left side. Left side, why? Because it is having the higher energy. And bending vibrations, they will appear at the right side, right? They will appear at the right side. So here whatever functional groups will appear, they will appear generally due to the stretching vibration, due to the stretching vibration towards the left side. Here is a left side, so here is a wave number. So generally it will appear at the left side, means at a higher energy, and bending vibration generally they will appear at the right side. Okay, so functional group region is, it will give the information about the functional group. Okay, it gives the information about the functional group. So here we're having a long list of the functional group. So they will appear in between 4000 to 1300 centimeter inverse. Okay, now next is the fingerprint region. Fingerprint, I think you might have heard the word, that is the fingerprint, right? We have to take the fingerprint in the biometric, right? Or by just when you go for the Aadhaar card, also you have to give your fingerprints. So here the fingerprint of two persons will not same, right? The fingerprint of the two persons will not same. In the similar way, the fingerprint of the two molecules will not same. So what is the use of this fingerprint? So the use of the fingerprint is to compare the sample. To compare the sample means, suppose the fingerprint of one person matches the given data, then you may say that the fingerprint is of that person. So in the same way, suppose in the library we are having the some fingerprint, or we can say the spectra of that molecule, right? So if the spectra in the fingerprint, if it matches with a unknown compound, you may say that that compound is of that spectra is of that compound. And so for the sample comparison, we are using the fingerprint region, right? So for sample comparison, we are using the fingerprint region. So here we can say the what is the use of, in short, again we have to learn all these things in detail, right? So here the it uses the information about the functional group. It uses the information about the functional group, right? Functional group. It gives information sample comparison. So it is used for the sample comparison. So whatever spectra you are getting in the region, that is a 1300 to 909. So here if you are having the same skeleton, then CCC bond, CCCO bond, like this one. If you are having the same skeleton, then in that case you are getting the fingerprint region, right? And aromatic region. So name itself tells about the aromatic region. So aromatic regions is useful to find out the presence of the aromatic compound. So here we have see the number 2, fingerprint region. What is the range for this fingerprint? The range for the fingerprint is 1300 centimeter inverse to 909 centimeter inverse. Okay, and it is useful for the sample comparison, to compare the spectrum of two compounds, right? So it is if they are same, then we can say it is the same compound. If they are different, then they are the different compound. And number 3 is the aromatic region. And the aromatic region we have seen in this case, it is from here in the ordinary we have learned that it is from 6 to 5 to here the aromatic region is a 909 to 6 to 5. 909 to 6 to 5. So here it is from 909 to 6 to 5 centimeter inverse. So we have learned the aromatic compound like benzene. Here is the presence of pi bond. There is a CH, right? So it is a benzene. It may be the monosubstituted benzene. Y may be any function group. It may be the disubstituted benzene. Here it may be the disubstituted benzene. Here there is X, or here there may be the Y, right? This X may be same, may be different. So it may be the ortho, it may be the meta, or it may be the para, right? So this aromatic region is useful to find out the presence of aromatic compound. And generally, we have just learned that due to the bending vibration, generally it appears towards the right side. So here there is the CH bond. The CH bond, it may undergo bending, right? So this C and H, they are in the plane, in the paper, and so the CH bond, it may rotate, it may undergo vibration in the plane or out of plane, right? So generally this is due to the bending vibration. They are due to bending vibrations. So we can find out the presence of the benzene if there is a CH stretching or bending. Here bending will appear in the aromatic region. Monosubstituted benzene, disubstituted benzene, ortho, meta, or para. So to find out the presence of aromatic compound, if aromatic compounds are there, then generally it will appear in between 909 to 625 centimeter inverse. Okay, so this is about the IR spectroscopy. This is a very important part. Whatever part we have learned today, same thing we are going to repeat till we complete the topic. So if you attend the lectures, you will also remember the value, because values are more, and again we can remember how to find out the structure of orange compound by using this IR spectroscopy. So what we have learned? We have learned the UV is range 200 to 800 nanometer. These undergo rotational, vibrational, electronic vibration. Why? Because it is having the more energy, so it undergo electronic excitation. So with electronic excitation, it also undergo vibrational and rotational. It is useful to find out the presence of the dyne and the immune system. Then we have seen the IR radiation. The IR radiation is useful to find out the presence of the function group. Function group, just we have seen here: alkane, alkene, alkyne, alcohol, ether, aldehydes, ketones, carbon compound, acid, corresponding derivative, amines, alcoholide. The time required to find out the spectra is near about 3 to 7 minutes, and the sample required is near about 4 to 5 minutes, 4 to 5 milligram. This part is important. Division of IR. The IR is divided into three parts: near IR, ordinary IR, and far IR. As organic point of view, ordinary IR is very important. We are using the scale lambda 0.8 micron to 16 micron or 200 micron. So from left to right, it gets increased. But if you see the wave number is equal to reciprocal of a lambda. So it will decrease from left to right. So we are interested only in the ordinary IR. Ordinary IR is divided into three parts: functional group region, fingerprint region, and other is the aromatic region. Other is the aromatic region. So here is the aromatic region. Aromatic region. The name itself tells its definition. Functional group region gives information about the presence of the function group. So generally, due to the stretching vibration, you are having the spectra in this region 4000 to 1300 centimeter inverse. Fingerprint region gives information about the sample comparison. So if there is a carbon-carbon-carbon skeleton, or carbon-carbon-carbon oxygen skeleton, or maybe other skeleton, so the two samples are having the same spectra. If the spectra in this region is same, means compound is same, so it is useful to find out the presence of the sample comparison. Then aromatic region, if there is the presence of benzene, monosubstituted benzene, disubstituted benzene, ortho meta para, then it is useful to find out the presence of aromatic compound. So these are the three parts: functional group region, fingerprint region, and aromatic region. So what is the range for this functional group? 4000 to 1300 centimeter inverse. Fingerprint 1300 centimeter inverse to 909 centimeter inverse. Aromatic 909 to 625. So roughly I can say 4000 to 1300, 1300 to 900, 900 to 600. Right? So this is the functional group, fingerprint, and aromatic region. We have learned here what is the use of this three region. A question of 3 marks they may ask, find out, or what is the use of this IR spectroscopy, right? So in this way we have seen the IR spectroscopy. If you have doubt, you may ask. We have learned IR is divided into three parts: near IR, ordinary IR, and far IR. In that one only, ordinary IR is important. Ordinary IR is divided into three parts. One is functional group region. It gives information about the functional group. We'll see one by one every functional group where it appear. So you have to remember the band for that one. The values given in the books, they may be different. They may be the different, right? So here I will give you some values, and of course all these values they will provide in your question paper, right? But if you remain present for the lectures and if you read this topic simultaneously. There's no need to read the spectroscopy, not only IR, UV, IR, and NMR. Here only we'll try to solve maximum question, right? And we'll solve your doubts. We'll take the questions from your textbook, question paper, at least 2 to 3 of each type. We have seen it is divided into 3-part: function group, then fingerprint, and that is the aromatic region, right? So this is about the IR spectroscopy, right? In doubt, you may ask. If in doubt, you may ask. Okay, then we will stop here. Thanks to all.